Welcome to Alice Just Alice 55. You're listening to an AI-narrated audiobook version of my original story, The Unclaimed Werewolf, an Unbound Wolves novel, written by Alice N. Smith. Chapter 5, Where the Scent Doesn't Belong. The forest changed first, not in a way most things noticed. The creek still moved over stone, the birds still called from the canopy, and the wind still slipped between the trees with familiar ease. But something shifted, subtle and precise, like a breath held too long. Nora felt it before she understood it. She stood at the edge of the creek, bare feet sunk into cool mud, while Morcel splashed farther downstream, intent on destroying a stick that had personally offended him. The last of the light clung to the canopy above, dusk settling in and dimming the water to steel. "Slow down," she called without looking. "You're going to choke on something stupid." Morcel ignored her. Then he froze. One moment he was all motion, water, enthusiasm, misplaced confidence, and the next he stood rigid, head lifted, ears forward. His tail dropped, not tucked, but still. Nora's hand stilled at her side. "What is it?" she asked softly. Morcel didn't bark. He didn't whine. He took a step back, then another, water rippling around his legs as he retreated upstream toward her. His eyes never left the trees across the creek. He stopped close enough that she could have touched him without moving. The forest exhaled. The scent hit her like a hand closing around her spine. Not fear, not hunger, awareness. Her body went still on its own, breath shallow, muscles tightening as if bracing for impact. Whatever carried the scent wasn't hunting and wasn't lost. It wasn't passing through. It was already paying attention. She crouched and rested a hand on Morcel's back. He leaned into the contact, body taut beneath her palm. "Stay," she murmured. He stayed. She rose and stepped into the creek. The water swallowed sound as she crossed, cold biting harder now as night pressed closer. She climbed the opposite bank without hurry. Rushing was for prey. The farther she went, the stronger the pressure became. Not pursuit, presence. By the time she reached the clearing, shadow had already claimed most of it. What light remained clung to the edges, thin and fading. He stood near the tree line, tall and broad-shouldered, his outline broken by branches and dark. Human-shaped, but the space around him felt dense, weighted, as if the air itself had shifted to accommodate him. He made no effort to hide now. Nora stopped several paces away. "This is my territory," she said, her voice carried cleanly in the quiet. "You're trespassing." His gaze flicked past her first, quick and instinctive, toward the creek behind her, toward Morcel. The look lingered a fraction too long. Something inside her went cold. His attention returned to her face. He studied her openly now, as if trying to place her into a shape that refused to exist. "I didn't expect to find anyone here," he said. "That sounds like a you problem," Nora replied. "Now you found me. Leave." A pause. "You're unclaimed," he said. The word meant nothing to her, and everything in his tone made her hate it. Her smile was sharp. "I don't belong to anyone." Silence stretched. Night gathered. The forest listened. Morcel padded into the clearing behind her a moment later, hackles raised now, a low growl rolling out of his chest. He stopped at her side without being told. The man's eyes dropped again. This time his expression changed. Not fear, not anger, disgust. Nora felt it like a strike. "That," he said slowly, "is a dog." She shifted just enough to block Morcel from his view. "Yes," she said. "And you keep a mutt," he continued, disbelief edging his voice. "As a companion." Her voice went very calm. "I keep what I want." His jaw tightened. "That animal doesn't belong in—" She moved before he finished. The shift tore through her in a rush of heat and bone, fur bursting over skin as she dropped to all fours. The clearing constricted around her, shadows trembling as her snarl rolled outward. Dominance flooded the space. heavy and unmistakable. The man stepped back without thinking. Good! Her gaze locked onto him, golden and unblinking. She didn't advance. She didn't need to. This was her land. After a long moment, he raised his hands slightly, palms open. I didn't come to fight. She shifted back just as smoothly, standing once more in human skin. The night air brushed her, cool and sharp. Then you picked a poor way to introduce yourself, she said. You've smelled me, you've seen me, now you can leave. He hesitated. Something flickered across his expression. Calculation, perhaps, or reluctant respect. I will, he said, but you should know I don't care, Nora cut in. And if you come back without permission, I won't be polite. Morcel growled again, low and certain. The man inclined his head once, then retreated toward the trees, careful not to turn his back, until shadow took him fully. When the forest swallowed him, the tension lingered like a bruise. Nora exhaled slowly. She knelt and pressed her forehead briefly to Morcel's. He licked her chin, anxious and grounding all at once. Good, she murmured. You did good. The forest settled, but not into the shape it had held before. She didn't know what he was, only that whatever he belonged to, it had just found her.